Folks in Austin, Texas know this natty nautical neighbor as captain of the fleet. Actually, Bob Sokol is captain of the fleet Boatmobile, parked and idling in his driveway. Yep, that's a genuine fiberglass motorboat. And no, it has never had its bottom wet.
Back, I guess in the 80s, there was a succession of vehicles where we started out building four-wheel drives that started getting higher and higher off the ground. We had four-wheel drive trucks. Then we started taking the truck bodies off and putting car bodies on. Then we did one with a little Corvette body, and about that time we figured out it didn't matter what the body was, just so it was four-wheel drive and big high off the ground. So the natural progression, I guess, was to put a fiberglass boat body on. And at one time we had a boat like this on a four-wheel drive chassis where you had to throw a rope ladder out the door to climb up to it. It was so high off the ground. And we had so much fun with it on the beach that I just had to build one for the road.
Bob may not have his captain's papers, but he spent some time traveling around the country in a school bus as an itinerant auto mechanic, so he knows his way around cars. Believe it or not, this Boatmobile began life as a tired old Volkswagen. Bob made a few cosmetic additions.
The boat was kind of built on the trial and error method, where we went down some blind paths and came back, you know. So a lot of things were built and then deconstructed. Things like the front bumper, it was a real problem getting the front bumper to fit until we figured out we had to just cut it in half and bend it in a V to fit. One thing that people always ask me about is whether the boat is street legal. Well, we've got everything that we need to pass inspection to be on the road, and we've got everything that we need to be in the water as well. We've got our fire extinguisher, we've got flotation devices, we've got our numbers all paid up, and of course we've got bumpers in case we get into trouble on land or in the water.
Okay, Bob, you're cleared for highway travel and your papers are in order for shipping out, but you're hedging here. Could you really ride the waves in this machine?
We do everything we can to convince people that it does go in the water. We carry our water ski, we got a ski rope on the back. I pay for my numbers every year. We keep the sticker up to date. And boy, when you drive downtown, down by Town Lake, all the guys with the boats on the trailers, they get out of the way and they wave you on down. They say, go ahead, you go first, go ahead, pull it into the water. But I'm afraid it would only go in the water one more time, right to the bottom.
Just because it won't float like a boat doesn't mean it can't look like a boat. Bob's baby is loaded with every nautical knick-knack you can buy, and a few he made up.
Let's see all the switches and stuff in here. The shark repellent, if you push that button, it connects the extra battery. There's nothing more embarrassing than hanging around downtown for a couple of hours with the radio blaring and then waving goodbye to everybody and turning the key and having to go click, click, click. So you want to make sure you have your shark repellent in case you need to start the engine. The bilge pump, that's our windshield wipers, and of course you got to have a map light. This is a World War II surplus B-52 map light with, you know, a couple of feet of cord on it in case you have to read the map in the middle of the night.
It gets pretty hot in Austin, Texas, so Bob came up with a way the Boatmobile could keep passing landlubbers refreshed, whether they want it or not.
Just this past season, we decided to add thing to do. You notice I'm being very careful now not to hit the flag with the water. I feel like the guy who invented the machine gun mounted on a biplane the first time he came around and cut the propeller off. Ching, 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 ching. So we always have to take the flag down when we're going out to play with the squirter.
The Boatmobile's name says it all, or almost all. Bob enlists the help of the Motor Vehicle License Department to add to his nautical theme.
In the state of Texas, you can get a custom license plate, but they only give you 6 letters, so it's hard to be creative in 6 letters. They charge the same amount of money every year, whether you decide to keep the same license plate or trade it in for another one. So we get a new one every year. So I've been trying to be creative for about 15 years now, and of course I have all the old license plates on the wall.
Outlandish may float like an anchor, but it performs much better on the open rope.
It'll go as fast as you have the nerve to go. Once it gets out on the highway, if you hold the gas pedal down, it just keeps going faster and faster and faster. But at a certain point, I guess it gets a little unmanageable, so we try and keep it down. Keep it down to 55. It looks really great going by at 55.
But if he obeys the speed limit, Captain Bob is bound to raise a few eyebrows among the local constabulary.
You know, when you go out in a cool vehicle like this, the first time you go out, you get stopped every time you turn around. But the word gets around pretty fast, and by now I know all the police in the county on a first-name basis, and pretty much they wave just like everybody else does.
What must it be like to be married to a guy who likes to drive around in a boat on wheels? Well, you definitely need a sense of humor.
Come sit with me.
Bob's wife, Cheryl, has that in spades. Not to mention a stubborn streak. Bob and Cheryl got married when they were both just kids. They divorced, and 10 years later, they married each other again.
Well, we've been together almost 30 years, and I could say truly that there's never been a dull moment. We have, you know, our moments like any couple, but then when you can laugh together, that saves everything.
And when you ride in a Boatmobile, the laughter comes easy, and often.
Everyone notices you, and everyone has a comment. And I think the best one was we were driving down 6th Street one time, which is our fun street in Austin. And we were stopped at a light, and a young woman was crossing the street and didn't see us right away. And then when she noticed us, her eyes got real big, and then she started swimming across the street in front of us. So, I mean, you get all kinds of great comments and people acting out and having a good time.
Bob's not likely to get swamped by waves, but Nick gets swamped by fans. The Boatmobile is a people magnet.
Everyone has something that they yell at you, you know? They yell out the first nautical thing that comes to their mind as you go by, whether it's, "Hi, Popeye," or, "Hey, Gilligan, where's the skipper?" or something like that. That is a weird... It always draws a crowd. If you walk away from it for 5 minutes and just stand back and watch, it'll draw a crowd. And if you feel like just getting out and talking to people, this is the best icebreaker. An art car is the best icebreaker there is.
Ah, the lure of the open sea, so near, yet so far. Better you stick to terra firma, Bob. Always remember your mother's advice. Don't go near the water.